travel the Rail Vikas Nigam Limited वाले में जो था,
Yes, sir.
have you sent that where this Rail Vikas वाला जो था ना, Rail Vikas वाले में
हाँ
जो
जी, हाँ जी. Sir, we have prepared, but this webinar was going to start, so I'll send it after
okay,
this
okay,
webinar.
okay. Well, we have to represent that. Then there was one case where this undercoating of fees was there, na? There were two
Right.
things basically. Yeah. Okay. So we can start. We may start.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Professional Development and CPE Committee of the Institute, I welcome you all to the webinar series discussion with CMA practitioners. We are conducting this webinar under the able leadership of CMA M.K. Anand, Chairman, Professional Development and CPE Committee. So I would request Chairman Sir to kindly say a few words.
Thank you, Sushmita ji. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I am just seeing that there are many guests who are waiting in the lobby to join.
Yeah.
Friends,
Yeah. And
yeah.
he-
बोलिए, बोलिए.
yeah,
Yeah.
speaker has also joined with us.
Yes.
CMA Anwar
Uh,
Hassan ji.
yeah.
Welcome, sir.
CMA Anwar Hassan ji is there.
Anwar Hassan. Yeah.
So before
Thank
I
you.
request
Madam.
Anwar ji to share his vast experience with us, I will like to share with my fellow professionals, colleagues over here, that now we are in the process of finalizing and submitting. We have submitted some part of the our submissions to the government in respect of the Cost Accounting Records Committee, in which many of you have contributed very heartily, and so many very good suggestions have come to us. So we have compiled all of them, and we have already submitted them to the Government of India. Now we'll be following them with the department. The most important thing is the submission of the simplified formats. I will like to utilize this forum to request all of you to submit your views that how an abridged cost statements or a cost report, abridged cost report, can be worked out so that it can go into the annual report. That is point number one. Some key managerial ratios, not financial ratios. Financial ratios like current ratio and other ratios are there. Apart from that, certain ratios which are specifically relating to the costing. If you can suggest on that. And third, how we can put in some simplified pro forma of one pager, which we can put to the Government of India, so that that can be simultaneously published in the annual report as well as before the audit committee also. For this we are already in communication with the government. So one point was that we had to submit our these comments on that, which we have submitted. Some of you have also submitted, and you have already submitted directly to the government, and to us also. We have collated and submitted. So about the simplification of the performance, you may still send to us at PD. I'll request Sushmita ji to please give the address, mail address at the end of the session. Friends, now today we are joined by a very dear colleague of mine, namely CMA Anwar Hassan. I know this gentleman since last 30 years, a very thorough professional, very honest professional, I will say, and in a very studious way, he is associated in developing the cause of the profession. I will not be failing. I will be failing in my duty if I really don't mention that with his intervention in banks, in many of the banks, the costing activities have been started, the cost audit and the bank audit and the concurrent audit in many of them. And he has been very heavily promoting our profession in the area of UP, and he has in and before CAG also very knowledgeable in his contents. He has been always giving and helping us by giving his thoughts on by way of articles. I'll now call upon Anwar Hassan ji to please share his thoughts with all of us. Then, friends, because today is the last date uh, for this, I may be absent for some time because we are already working on that, and I have just come down to the car to so as to avoid the uh, hustle bustle to speak to you. So after this, you may kindly send your comments, and you may kindly send your views to us on our mail, or as well as on this portal also. Sushmita ji, can we now request our Anwar Hassan ji, or you will like to speak about him for a minute
Yeah.
about his profile? Okay. Yeah. Thank you very
Yes.
much, friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, the topic for today's discussion is on practical approach for stock and book debt audit for banks. And to discuss on this topic, we have with us CMA Anwar Hassan ji, who would like to share his practical experiences with all of us. So, before we proceed, I would like to give a brief introduction. Shri Anwar Hassan is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He is an insolvency professional. He was the member of various committees of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. And he is a practicing cost accountant with vast experience in conducting stock audit of various public sector banks. So today we request sir to kindly share his practical experiences with all of us.
Thank you, madam. Myself, CMA Anwar Hassan, with Sir Shri M.K. Anandji, CCM, and today we will discuss practical aspect of conducting stock audit. When we are saying practical aspect, that simply means I'm not going into nitty-gritties of what is the meaning of inventory and what is hypothecation and what is the end, but how practically we conduct it. How practically we conduct it. So, friends, we are all doing stock audit for the banks, and we also have sound theoretical knowledge of the area. But practically, when we start doing audit, if we discuss all those things with each other and share our experience with each other, then our quality of work will certainly improve a lot, and we can do it more effectively. Even if I so this my this lecture, I request you, it should not be a monologue but a dialogue, because if I'll adopt your viewpoint in my way of understanding, then my understanding will also increase. I'm not teaching anything, but I'm simply sharing my experience. For this reason, I like to share with you my practical experiences of conducting a stock audit for different banks, and this is what I'm going to share and what is we discuss with you. Well, till now, I have conducted many stock audit for public sector banks as well as for the organizations. Stock audit for the organization. The stock audit for the bank is entirely different from the stock audit when we do for the corporate. So I'm trying to share with today my practical experience which I have gathered in these audit. So first, objective of the audit. First we have to understand what are the objective of the bank, or what is the objective of the bank for stock audit by the CMA. I mean cost accountant. The bankers usually appoint cost accountant firms. Uh, for what purpose? The purpose of the What is the purpose of the banker? Why he appoint us for conducting stock audits? What he wants from us? These are the questions which arises in our mind. First, what he requires from us. It, whatever he requires. I'm not saying that it will like potential of stock and DT and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm thinking on the principle basis. What he requires from us, that must be reflected in our report. If he requires something from us, that must be reflected practically. It must be reflected in our report, and we should fill all the information, or we should fulfill the objective of stock audit of the bankers, because it is the bankers who have appointed us and not the borrower. In my opinion or my understanding, bankers' purpose is that the end use of the fund is justified. For the purpose bank has given you the bank has lent the money, that purpose must be justified, and funds are used for that very purpose for which the bank has lent the money. If the bank has lent the money to the borrower, say for the showroom of a car, it should not went to its another activity showroom of the motorcycles. That that cannot be cannot be the situation. So we should look into the very purpose of the stock audit. Look into the books. A lot of things are written, but that I am not going. Today, today's presentation has been divided into two parts. When I say one is the procedural aspect or procedural compliance, and the second is what points we should take into our report, or what we should be careful of in this situation. In this situation means conducting cost audit. Sorry, inventory audit. So our points is to be taken clear of what are the specific points is to be considered, is to be looked into while conducting stock audit. Then first aspect, that is of course the procedural compliances. So first let us talk about first part, that is procedural compliance. In there, when they appoint you, the first thing comes to your mind is to accept the assignment. Acceptance. First thing is, as soon as you receive a stock audit assignment, first thing is you should send your acceptance to the concerned authority as per the scheduled time, and the next thing is to communicate with the concerned authority with the checklist you need for your documentation and all other things. You should always, first thing is to send your confirmation from the borrower and from the branch. You will need certain lot of documents and lot of information. So prepare a checklist for that checklist that I need these documents, and that should be sent to your branch. In all the cases, not branch. Sometimes loan has been sanctioned by the zonal office or regional office. So I'm saying loan sanctioning authority. Loan sanctioning authority. So the checklist which you need, the document which you need, keep in a checklist and communicate it to the borrower, and always keep the banker in the CC. Say, sir, these are the data, these are the files which I need. And when you keep the banker in the CC, what will happen? What will happen? Previously what actually happens? Previously we communicate with the physical form, but now it is time for the emails. It is okay. Please send email to the branch as well as the auditing unit, but it is important that always keep branch in the CC, and do not miss. I'm saying with inverted, do not miss controlling zone or sanctioning authorities, so that they know that you have started your work, and now it is upon the borrower. The ball is in his court. So provided you the document so that you can proceed with your work, because many a time this assignment get delayed. So practically you should do this thing. Therefore, now you can proceed with your work. Nowhere it should appear that the work of stock audit is being delayed due to delayed stock start by stock auditor. Or it is not it is, first of all, we should read the terms and conditions of sanction letter. Once you reach the branch, the audit is being conducted in two parts. One is in branch, and the other is in the premises of the borrower. So both the things are very, very important. First of all, you have to visit the branch or a zone or a controlling authority from where you have sent your from where you have received your information about your conducting the particular audit. So you reach that particular branch or sanctioning office, and what you need over there: first, obtain the engagement letter from the bank. Very important, because the base on which you have started your work is sanction letter. That is practical, but legally it should be your engagement letter. So you please obtain from them. They right now they mostly they inform us by mails. So take a physical copy from there, and when you take these engagement letter, from there you will get so many things. Name of the unit, who are the key persons, copy of the what we call this is a constitution of entity, partnership deed, memorandum of association, article of association, whatever is applicable as per the style of the business, that is available in the loan disbursement office. Then address, both registered office and factory of the unit, nature of the borrowers. When I say nature of the borrowers, means nature of the business, that is trading unit, manufacturing units. So this exports, it may be any. So from there, you will, from this very step of taking the engagement letter, from this very aspect, you build up the premises on which you will start your work. And 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 then you should take sanction letter. Sanction letter, जो आपका, so sorry, sometimes I speak Hindi, so please check when I start speaking Hindi. Sanction letter is available with the branch manager, is always available with the branch manager, as well as with the borrower. It should be signed by the branch manager as well as by the borrower. Many times, what exactly happened? What I have personally observed, that we have asked for the sanction letter from the branch, of course, and the branch also readily provided the sanction letter. But it has some catch also. What is that catch? When you ask for the sanction letter and branch provides the sanction letter, and it gives you that particular sanction letter, but later on you comes to know that the sanction letter was prepared, but branch made certain changes into that, and they have taken printout of what was the draft sanction letter, and this is on the one of the file, and that has been provided to you. So the base on which you have started your work would itself would be defective. So my request to you, you please take the endorsed sanction letter, which is being signed by both bank branch, disbursement officer, as well as by the borrower. DP is an important area. This I will cover after some time, but usually in public sector bank, these things are important. First of all, read sanctions terms and condition in sanction letter. Very important, very important. कि आपके terms and conditions section letter. Oh, sorry again. What are the terms and condition in sanction letter? It should be signed and endorsed by the branch manager as well as the borrower. So what are those points? I saw but we asked for the sanction letter from the branch, but that sanction letter I have said already. So please make a request to the branch manager that I like, because the banks have usually two files, permanent file as well as a correspondence file. In correspondence file, all the printout photo states appears, but in a permanent file, they keep permanent document. So please insist that you give me the sanction letter from the permanent file, so that the base on which you have started work remains correct. And then why I am saying so? That once the draft is being taken out, some conditions in the sanction letter changed, and another sanction letter was given to the borrower that was signed. In this condition, the base you have taken for your audit is itself defective. So it is always advisable to take endorsed sanction letter on which the banker himself has signed in ink. Sometimes there are some specific condition given to calculate drawing power. There's a certain procedure which I will later on explain. Many a times there are specific conditions. Suppose 20% margin of stock will be deducted and 50% of the debtor will be deducted. These are the conditions written in the sanction letter. And then there is an upper cap of stock and book debts that supposed to be the upper cap. For instance, there's a 10, you have a debt, your debtors are 10 crore. After deducting 50% as a margin, borrower will get 5 crore. All right. But sometimes bankers have specifically written they are having upper cap condition. What is that upper cap conditions? Upper cap condition is that in this particular case, we will disburse only 4 crore. So 4 crore is the upper limit for the DP beyond which you cannot withdraw. And so when you calculate on the Excel, you calculate as per the sanction letter. Things may happen that you miss a simple one liner which is written somewhere in between, that the upper cap, or for the purpose of raw material we cannot disburse more than 4 crore. Or in usually these type of limits are given in public sector banks. They usually have this. Then terms and condition. I am in very much in the sanction letter. Terms and condition. That is your third activity. Which activity you have been given, say, for which activity you have given loan. Activity for which working capital is being granted. Now you can see application form. That is generally provided in an auction. There are two types of the activity. It will say, I can give without taking a name in Allahabad. They are having a showroom for Hero motorcycles, as well as a showroom for the Maruti car, Suzuki car. So there is activity A and there is an activity B. Two types of activities there. Suppose there's activity A and there's an activity B. Sometimes money is being given for activity A. It has been given for the Hero Motorcorp. It was given for the activity A. But many times that money is being used in activity B. For this, you have to keep your guards and your eyes open. We have given you this much money, but it has been shifted to your another activity. This is not justified. This should not happen. If there are two activities, then you have to be very clear for which activity funds have been given. This is must and it is very important. Then it is always advisable that you should take prime security visit from the bank. Either the branch manager or his loan sanctioning officer, what we simply says, they have done the particular visit every month, every quarter, depending on the bank, depending upon the policy of the bank, branch manager or his advance officer. They would have done a prime security visit. So if he has done a prime security visit of the borrower at his location, in case any problem arises, say you should take that from the prime security visit. They have a register, they maintained a register. Then you look into, and they also have a formatted form. So whether on which date, who has visited, what he finds. So take the latest. We should not be more than, let's say, a month or so, because in case of where the stock auditors are being appointed, their prime security visit is I always seen month on the monthly basis. In huge loans, it is always on the monthly basis. So take the latest prime security visit. This will help you a lot. How it will help you? Say, in case any problem arises afterwards, then you have a safety catch or a safety net at your disposal, because as per your report, everything was fine. But look at your prime security, at your officer's report. He has also visited, he has also looked into it, and stock was also okay as per their report. So if something has happened, it has happened afterward, and after conduction of my audit. If something happened, if some stock is missing or something happened, because I have not only done the audit, your officers has also done the audit. Your branch manager, your security, your sanctioning authority, your sanctioning officer, or your principal loan lending officer, as they call it from bank to bank. Secondly, Another point is that usually this should not happen. When we have conducted the bank audit, say stock audit, nothing should come out because we should do our work diligently. But in any eventuality, this very report will serve the purpose and it will keep you in a safety zone. So always insist on prime security with it. Secondly, after that, you take the statutory auditor, concurrent auditor, RIB auditor, if they have written, if they have any comment about this particular account in their report, look into that. Look into that. What they have written is very, very important. If they have, look into their report, particularly about the account into their report, what they have said. So, because sometimes you have division A, division B, and both divisions have account in the same branch. Then whether they have written something about the account. If so, what they have written. That is very important to check. That will give you the lead where you can extend your lenses and where you can extend your audit. Is there something written in the closing statutory report? Please refer to it. Whether they have put a note in that particular report, please look into this. Whether a concurrent auditor, because concurrent auditor has 12 report. They give on monthly basis. Whether he has written something about the account in their report, and say he has written something in January, whether he is repeating it in the February or the point has been dropped. That is very important. So look into that. At the time of the renewal of the loan, if the renewal authority of the bank has put some sensitive note about those accounts, that you should be taken care of. At the time of renewal, if the renewal authority of the bank has put some sensitive note, what note he has written on that particular file about those accounts, that you should be taken care of. From where you will get it? That you will find in the appraisal book. They have, say, different bank use different word, but there is an appraisal book. In appraisal book, they write about the account. So if they say that the printout cannot be taken, it is in the computer, it is in the financial. No. It is not in the financial. It is maintained in the register also. Sometimes they can keep somewhere in the computers also. But we need appraisal book in physical form. So please request them to provide you appraisal book, and there you look about your account, what is written in the appraisal book by the sanctioning authority. Now come to the visit. Some other things to be done at the branch. Engagement letter I have talked about. Relevant details, nature of goods, sanction letter, all these things are important. And after that, you have to say bank account number and banking facilities and limits provided to the borrower. When you are still sitting in the branch, it is only a 1.5 hour work. 1.5 hour work or hardly 2 hours work. If the branch manager is complying quickly, it's a 1.5 hour of the work. If the advance is in a consortium finance, then you should look who is the lead banker and who are the other bankers and what is their participation, what is the percentage of their participation, and please take the list of sister concern of the concerned account. This will come to your rescue. I'll tell how. Then case of company, whether charge with the ROC is obtained, you have, so wo important aspect hai. Oh, sorry, that is important aspect about charge with the ROC. Then whether all the terms and conditions of the sanction are complied by the borrower, whether this you have to look into bank's documentation, say such as agreement of hypothecation, letter of acceptance, letter of continuity, whether these are verified, whether the branch has complied with the procedures, instructions, and all other the instruction issued by their controlling authorities regarding loan application, enhancement of limit, etc., whether it has been complied. This you can look only in the bank. Then whether stock book debts, QIS statements are important. Bank should QIS, QMS statements, they should get regularly within due date from the borrower, say quarterly. Usually the QIS statements are quarterly. So say whether bank has taken the QIS statement, MI statement within due dates in the prescribed format. Then age-wise list of data, rate, quantity and amount of stock, etc. Whatever they have submitted a stock position report to the bank. Now, don't go to the borrower side. Look there itself whether it has 90 days limit and 6-month limit. And so all these things, whether they are giving in the prescribed format in the same form. Age-wise list of data, rate, quantity, amount of stock, etc., etc. When they are submitting a stock statement in the prescribed stock statement, they are submitting or not. बहुत जगह ऐसा, many places it happens that they submit the list of data, but they never give the age. They submit the stock, but never give the age. How you can deduct the obsolete stock from that? So whether the analysis of account is being made by the bank at the regular interval, and if it is so, that you will find in that very purpose in their sanctioning books also. So while bank is analyzing the account, whether they have certain observation, whether they have informed to the borrower that you are submitting a stock statement, but these stock statement is are not as per my format, whether the observation has been complied, whether the register, we can say, due date of renewal and limits and all, whether the register contains all the information which a bank needs. So stock and book statement for last 3 months becomes very important for your working. So because when you will be working on the drawing power, the last 3 months statement verified by the bank officer is needed, and you should insist that the bank must have these statements. Then credit turnover, the many thing in interest is being served, and physically, say sometimes they have they give you the FDs. So whether they are lien marked in the system, and physically they have taken balance outstanding, all these things you should do at the bank itself before you finish your work at the bank. Don't go to the borrower's site. If you go to the borrower's site without the bank statement, completing your work at bank, not a problem. Then analytical review procedures and some other things are there, but keeping time constraint and all, I will come to the place appraisal book. So appraisal book is an important document. If the bank don't give you, please insist that I need appraisal book. I need this appraisal book, and without going into the appraisal book, don't move forward, because everything is written by the bank themselves in that particular book. Then now we come to the moving, which is very dear to us, working with the data, because we like to work with the data. So now come to the visit. If we talk about visit, as per standard terms, it really should be a surprise visit. Because if you look into your appointment, they have written that the visit of the stock auditor must be surprise. But many a time it is not possible. Sometimes borrower is not available. He is busy with some other important work. he may be out of town, then it is okay. It is all right. You communicate with him verbally on phone, and then you should plan your visit, and then you should do the visit. You cannot be very rigid in this. Yes, please. Pardon? किसी का mic on है. Please, somebody has a mic on. Please, mute it. So you communicate with him verbally on phone, and then you should plan your visit. Once the visit date is planned and time is planned, now you start your visit. So after communicating, after talking, both auditor as well as auditee is convinced that this is the date for stock audit, do the visit. But in case think there's some hanky panky, there is something, then do the surprise visit. If you think there is something is wrong, then do the surprise visit. Then there's no rescue from the surprise visit. So visit should be surprise, but practically it should always be after communicating with the borrower. Okay, that is the date on which I am coming. At you also give him the time. I will come at 9 o'clock or whatever, so that you complete your physical stock taking and some other work within the day itself. Now come another aspect. This is financial analysis. You can say it is now you are dealing with the data. Please read the comments of financial auditor of the borrower in its final account and its report. Please read. The latest last year financial audit report will be with you. So you please take the report. And if he has written something which has adverse effect on the account, then this is to be particularly taken care of, especially where the effect is on the closing stock. Where the effect is on the closing stock. Sometimes what you can see there, sometimes we look that certain losses are written off like forex losses. In this case, that can have an influence on your opinion. Many a time your opinion may change a lot if you look into the annual accounts and report of the financial auditor. Then sometimes we have seen deferred taxes, which is what is written about deferred tax. Is there any comment? Is there any adverse comment which can affect our stock audit or stock audit report? That we should take care of. So reading the full report of the financial auditor, the last report of the last statutory report, you should please read it. Take a time for that. Rather, you should when you ask for the document, ask balance sheet and profit and loss account and annual report also. After that, let us see that document which we will take from the borrower. How we will analyze those documents. How we will analyze those documents. One of my ex-president, I will not take name, he is now no more. He used to say that what is cost accounting? Cost accounting is an advanced arm of financial accounting. It is the commando unit of the regular army. So we are not different from a financial accountant, with the only difference that we are advanced and more trained arm. So here I will suggest what data you will ask. Take full trial balance. Take full trial balance. Opening plus debit during the year, credit during the year is equal to closing stock. In this format, you take the full trial balance. If you get these documents in this format, I'm sure nobody can do you any wrong. If you have taken this is the opening balance, these are the debits during the year, these minus entry for the credit, and this is our closing balance of the stock. Nobody can do any now, or nobody can play with you. If you get the document, full trial balance in the form opening plus debit minus credit is equal to closing stock. If you get information in this form, nobody can make you fool. Make me fool. So if you get this information in these formats, then it is 100% sure that that nowhere any possibilities exist that they have manipulated the data and they have given you manipulated data and you have failed to detect. So from where opening balance will come? Opening balance will come from previous year's audit report. Debit during the year and credit during the year. This you have to look into from the accounts. And closing figure will automatically arrive when you do plus minus mathematics. Many a times it happens that in books of accounts, checks are being issued to the creditor. For that reason, or for that purpose, or for that reason, the level of creditors get down. If you fail to check this very aspect, subsequently the reduced creditor, because you will take creditor from book of account. So if I have issued a check to a particular creditor, it has never been posted to him, it has never been given to him. Uh, so in books of accounts, my creditor will get reduced, but actually they are not. So bill bank reconciliation statement becomes an important check issued but not presented. That is very important aspect to arrive at the correct figure of the creditors, because in the books of accounts creditors would have already adjusted. So there the bank reconciliation account, bank reconciliation statement, all the 12 bank reconciliation statement you should take and look into this particular thing, checks issued but not presented. Then you can get the real creditors. Therefore, the reduced creditors are being taken for the purpose of DP. If the creditors are reduced, the drawing power will automatically increase. If the creditors are reduced, the drawing power will automatically increase. So you have to necessarily check bank reconciliation statements that are there. In bank reconciliation statement, you should see, are there any checks issued to the creditor lying uncleared in the bank statement? This you have to necessarily check. Are there any checks lying uncleared in the bank statement? This question should hunt your mind regularly while going into BRS, because this will have an effect on the creditors. And if the creditors are reduced, your DP will certainly increase. Third important area what I see is unsecured loan and capital credit entry. Unsecured loan and capital credit entry of any new fund infusion in the organization. Capital credit entry of any new fund infusion in the organization, that you have to validate from the bank statement. It should not happen that you have validated that checks into the banks, but it has not been created in the bank. In this, if this happens, what would happen? What would happen? Because fund infusion has been done, what would happen? It will create a fictitious fund, that it may happen that the check has not even being presented to the bank. It is not an actual fund, but it is a dummy fund which is appearing in the books of accounts, and this can be used to reduce the creditor. So all these tricks they may apply to reduce the creditor to increase the drawing power. And our aim is to arrive at the drawing power. The procedure of calculating drawing power is very simple, but the catches in keeping drawing power correct is very important. I am not saying this because I am a cost accountant, but the fact is that CMAs are much more equipped to conduct a stock audit than any other branch of accounting. Why? This I will tell you also, but the time is not there. Then, so accordingly, any fund infusion entry is to be validated from bank account. It must be validated from bank account. Double financing of debtor. Yes, many a times we observe that cases of double financing took place. Like channel financing, debtors factoring, these type of the things takes place. If you look into the sanction letter, there they clearly write that organization will not go for channel financing. So that is practically also very important. On many occasions, we see that debtors factoring facility has been used by the borrower from another bank. That debtors need to be reduced from the total debtors to arrive at the debtor for the DP purposes, trying power purposes. If their total debtors are say 100 rupees and 20 rupees debtors are being factored, or they have been got a channel financing facility and or whatever, so you please deduct those from the total to arrive at the net debtor for channel for DP purposes. Otherwise, what will happen? The same data will be used for drawing power calculation as well as for factoring services. So, so you should be very vigilant that the same data should can nobody has used the same data twice for credit availment. Now come to LC. LC, we all know what is LC and all. So it is also like factoring. Suppose you have sold goods on LC, then what you will actually do? If the LC is to be discounted from the bank, should be cross checked, since some of the cases where LC has been LC bill, or say what it is booked in the books and discounted amount issue on the what about against this credit to the bill receivable, or I'll say I'm not using correct language. LC is passed on through bill receivable, bill payable books, and data remains intact. So you should see this should not happen. Bill receivable, bill purchase, they have been used, but the effect should also be reflected in our debtor account. Then then sometimes we have to look into the raw material. Now comes the role of a cost accountant. Say in heavy manufacturing industry, power bill is quite high. 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, sometimes 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs. Sometimes they generate the power also through DG, and they purchase the power also. So we have to take care. In our old cost audit record rules, we have performa for power cost, not performa annexure for the no, performa for the power cost. Now it has been long dispensed away, but that knowledge is very, very important. Say power cost in conditions, we have to look into the power cost properly, and we have to look into the unpaid cost of the power. It should not be included in the inventory. Why? Because cost of power is all the accounting is being done on the accrual basis. So if they have booked that power cost into their journals and all, but they have not paid for it, the same amount is being double financed. One is by not paying the power bill, and other is by same inventory you are taking the loan. So again is the case of a double financing. So all the pending payments which form and constitute the cost of inventory, they should be deducted from to get the paid up inventory. They all should be deducted. Unpaid amount should be deducted, as in case of rent. So all these aspect. Then if we look into cost component of finished goods or WIP, then you should ask for cost component certificate. Say not in our cost audit form of the cost records, but what are the cost component? What are the cost component from the borrower. With these, the cost item, say how I will value our inventory, AS2, all right, and RV, all right. But kindly provide us the component of cost which are included in your inventory, WIP or raw material, and other aspects. So this is also one of the important area. Then power and power. The power cost to justify the operational activity of the borrower, we should ask the power bills, and the same should be accounted for on accrual basis till the date of our audit. And drawing power should be calculated after taking in the same. If it remains unpayable, or if it remains payable in the case or in the same case, then it should be accounted for in the cost sheet, and accrual aspect as well as the paid aspect, and that amount should be adjusted in your cost of the stock. So that is why I was saying the cost accountants are more capable, because when there is an unpaid power cost or any other unpaid expenses, then you have taken it on the basis of accrual also. So when you, what is to be considered to arrive at the inventory for the DP purpose, because sometimes power cost is 30 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakhs, it could be any per month. So that much amount need be reduced. So we understand things. I'm not saying that only we understand, but it is very much that we understand these things. Whether it is the factory rent, if the factory rent is outstanding, it is also going to be deducted from the inventory to arrive at the paid stock. And these elements, since accounting is on the accrual basis, they need be or they will certainly arrive in their trading account. So it is going to be deducted from their 100%. There is no second question on it, because we will finance only paid up inventory. We cannot allow double financing. Then many times borrowers argue that what must or what will appear in the cost sheet and what will not. No, I'm not saying that you give me cost sheet as per para 5. No, I'm not saying that. You please update the cost sheet. So instead of making any situation, it is better to take a certificate from borrower himself about that what is appearing in your cost, what are the elements, and what are the heads they are including in their cost sheet. Just please take a certificate, and this can also be verified from last year P&L account, and so then production capacity. So those who are gray haired, they know in previous cost audit reports we have para 4: license capacity, installed capacity, actual production in comparison with the installed capacity. This we write in our report, para 4, old cost audit report. If any of you remember, if any of you have gone through our original cost audit report, para 4 talks about license era has already been gone, license capacity, installed capacity, actual capacity, and actual capacity in proportion to installed capacity. And there it is written in our cost audit report that in order to have a meaningful comparison, the license install capacity, etc., should also be indicated on the shift basis, whether all these being calculated on the single shift, multiple shift, so on and so forth. So now they cannot provide us this much data, but in their factory license they have production capacity. In factory license they have production capacity. So okay, give us that production capacity certificate. Okay, what is the as per SSI or MSME certificate or any document to ensures that your top line says or what your case and your you can take a production flow chart also. Okay, this is the production. Say, usually the audit is in, say, audit is in cloth, or a yarn unit, or cloth unit, or rugs. So they are exporting it also. So in that cases you can always take a certificate to, okay, how your sales, your what is your production capacity and what are your sales. Somewhere you will find that the whatever their production, you have sold more than you can produce. So if you say what they have produced and what they have sold, you will find that this exceed the license of your MSME or SSI or whatever. And when you talk to them how it happens that you produce only 10 and sell around 12, they say, okay, we are trader also. They may be trader, then it is okay. But if you are trader also, you still, and another excuse is, and that is this, we have actually enhanced our production capacity, but license has not been amended. License has not been amended. So in that situation, you should clearly write in your report. When you go to the manufacturing unit, you will find that he is claiming its unit production, that my particular production is, say, this much. But when you look into the books, you will find that sale is much more than production. Yet it happens with me. From where that extra sale is arriving, whether he has done any trading activity. You ask. In some cases, he said, no, we are not doing trading activity. Actually, we have installed another machine. But that has not been included in their license. So all that sale is not actual sale. This you have to take care of. You should write to the bank that production capacity is this much from the factory license he has. Then you can easily be relate, and then you can talk to your bankers, and it is the ball is in the bankers court. Let say what he wants to do with this in such a situation. What he wants to do, it is the banker's call, not yours. But you should never miss this. Your report, this point must be clearly stated that certificate of production capacity is this much, and he has not renewed the certificate of production capacity, and sale is this much, and this much is exceeding. This you should take into your report. How much time I have? I say when I speak on the stock audit, I can keep on going and going and going and going. So madam, please let me inform 5 minutes or so that I can come to a report fact, because how practically it has been done, practically lot of things are there, and these things are not on the Google, nor on the AI.
Anwarji,
Yes, sir.
you can
Yes, sir.
maybe another 10 minutes. You can always speak because
Yes.
I think you also wanted that we should have some interaction with the members, na? So
Okay, okay,
maybe
okay.
if we normally keep it from three
If
to
there's
four,
any, sir,
but
if there's any question, they
yours
can
is.
come. Sir, they
Uh,
can call. They can ask question. There's no
yeah, yeah,
lacuna if they are.
yeah, yeah.
If
So I think
there's any
I
question
mean you have
arising
you
in your
have
mind.
you have you have also covered the area because I wanted to ask you that
Sir.
how can the cost accountants be more useful, and you have already covered that. So maybe if we can pause here and we can ask the questions, and then or up
Yes,
to
sir.
you basically, maybe another 5 7 minutes you can, and then we can ask
Yes, sir.
them whatever
Sir,
way.
sir. Then I was going into how the report is being prepared. Practically, how is being prepared. From where we will get a particular thing and what we have to write.
Maybe maybe
So that
Sushmita
area
ji,
I am going.
if we have any questions now, or maybe Anwar can speak for more time. I mean, up to the participants, if some of them will like to respond.
Is there any
Sushmita?
question? Okay, by the time question arises, I will not
Yeah,
waste the time. I'll
yeah.
come to the how the sir
Yeah.
has already spoken how the cost audit report is very useful, or rather more useful. Without I am limiting any other person, if you look at
Correct.
the old cost audit report, not new one,
Correct.
old. There we have general. We start with the general. The name of
Correct.
the company, the name of the cost auditor, the financial year for which the cost audit is being done, for at the same time, whether he's the whether the product under reference, and the company. So all these type of the general information comes to the notice when we look into the old cost audit report. Here the stock audit report by most of the bank in the same fashion. The first question they usually ask borrower's profile, whether they are carrying on a partnership business, or they are a company organization or whatever. So the first question is borrower's profile, and from where you will get it: partnership deed, ROC document, etc., etc. Then the next question is again in the same manner of the old cost audit report. That is banking arrangement. There we ask product under reference, and their product is banking arrangement. So the next question is banking arrangement. There we can certainly write CC, hypothecation, the type of the arrangement the borrower has, and that is available in the sanction letter. When I talk about the report, because readily how it is available, you went there and you want to see the banking arrangement, where you will get it? Sanction letter. Go to then the sanction detail. The sanction detail. Again, sanction detail में physical verification of stock, raw material, WIP, FG, ये सब है अपनी जगह पे. This say location of various sites where stock is available. Everywhere in all the reports this is available, and you please look into in our cost audit report, our first general para always look into the about the unit, about the factory, and the address and all. So but with the only difference, here we take this information I personally take from the GST certificate. Say in GST certificate, all the places of stocking of the stock, and all the places of conducting of the business is being mentioned in the GST certificate. So I take it from the GST certificate. You can take some from other places too. Then description of stock that is declared. Yeah, when we good go to one thing is called also a CMA data. That is credit monitoring agreement, not the cost management accountant. There you find that description of stock declared is also there. किस डेट से किस डेट तक हमने कितना सॉरी I'm speaking Hindi, from and to, what type of the descriptions we have made. Then bifurcation of closing stock at various places. That is, say I have a B, C, D, 4 warehouse. So where which type of the stock I have taken in case of manufacturing unit, raw material, WIP, finished goods, purchased item. So these bifurcation, again it goes or again it augurs well with our Excel sheet type of the accounting rather than debit credit, because this information is available. If organization making cost audit, it is always available. D3 register and extra, but if we are doing, we can get this. Then then you have to comment on the quality. Comment on the quality. If you remember the old report, there we have a one-liner statement, process of manufacturing, para 5 in old report. Why I every time say old report and not these reports? Old report has been, I'm not purposefully, but old report, in my personal little opinion and my insufficient understanding, was much more vast and useful than the cost audit what we are doing today. So there they have a para 5 which is called process of manufacturing. In bank stock audit, we have comments on quality and value of the goods. I have not come to this quality terms because say there is a jewelry stock and there is a diamond stock. Being a cost accountant, I am not capable enough to understand the Banarsi sari. One is of 5 lakh rupees and other is of 10,000 rupees, and both appears the same. So there we should give the disclaimer. That is another thing. But the format, when I'm talking about, we are moving in that very direction. There we write the quantity and value of goods, and in cost audit report we talk about process of manufacturing. It contains a detailed information about the process of manufacturing. This is a PTA and this is a DMT, and both get merged and they come out, and we draw chips from there, and then when we draw something from that, it becomes a yarn. So this type of the information, the format, either government is thinking in that terms or the banks are thinking in that terms. It is quite akin to our old audit report, old cost audit report. Then physical verification of stock. If you look into the para 16, or and then two paras were deleted, para 14, there the cost the auditor has to clearly give his observation on two fronts. One is whether the factors which could have been controlled but have not been done, resulting in increase in cost of production, matters which is unjustifiable over there, and where funds have been used in negligent and inefficient manner. So and scope of internal audit and budgetary control and internal audit. That was our para 16 and then 14. Now you look from the stock audit perspective, there they talk about the quality control, they talk about the power consumption, they talk about the data maintenance, they talk about the payment of statutory dues, they talks about the other borrowing power calculation and methodology and whatnot. So all these things are akin to our old report, and I feel very confident. That is why I feel very confident when I do this, because on the basis of stock statement, when you are calculating your drawing power, ultimately your stock statement is coming on a particular sheet where it has been valued, and there is a process of valuing that particular stock, whether AS2 or an RV or whatever. So this is quite close to us. And then there's a general checklist. Then the other details which we talk, however, I have changed the way of my what the direction of my lecture. Then we have branch, sole ID. What is the sole ID of the branch? It may be say I'm here, so I'm saying MCC Allahabad. Then zonal office. There is in most of the cases, credit has been sanctioned by the zonal office. Who is the name of the auditor? Anwar Hassan and Associates. Say, what is the name of the auditor? Say Sayyid Muhammad Anwar Hassan. So this ideology is quite akin to our original report. They talk about the borrower's profile. It is again in that form. Then sanction letter, physical stock taking, descriptions of the stock, then bifurcations, then and we talk physical verification, inventory control, valuation methodology. Valuation methodology is very, very important. A stock is being valued at AS2. No, we are not saying this is the valued as per our cost accounting standard, but valuation methodology has an important aspect. Then another point, which is insurance coverage. Coverage कितना is insurance, whether the latest insurance document is available or not, data stated. And then I come to my favorite, that is called power. In power, I cannot ask for a performa or for the performa or annexure for the power which we have in our report, but we always can have what is the in-house production of power, how much power we have consumed, how much power we can consumed during this year as well as during the last year. So power consumption per unit we can also arrive at, and this will give a valuable clue to the banker if the power consumption is increasing or decreasing, if there is any plus minus in the stock. So this is also an area. Data maintenance, data maintenance. There we have a selling overhead and production overhead and administrative overhead, and data maintenance is also not a financial data itself or any other data. It goes into computer. What are the data we have taken care, we are maintaining, or balance sheet and ABS is appearing about the disaster recovery plan. If the data, all the entire data is on the computer, to what disaster recovery plan the particular organization has. If there's no disaster recovery plan, then what will happen if his main computer or his main hard disk get crashed? So that is also very, very important. And drawing power requirements moves around creditor as well as debtor as well as stock, then paid up stock. So personally, I personally think that we are more suitable to conduct this type of the audit rather than anybody else. I'm looking for the question. I'm looking for the question. If any question appears into your mind regarding, अच्छा दूसरी बात है, एक चीज, one thing I'm just missing. Reputation is concerned. Uh, 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 as a cost accountant or as a any CMA can complete one day in branch, one day in borrower's office, and one day in his own office. In 3 days, he will complete the audit. And the fees for that is from 15,000 to
Yeah.
30,000 to 50,000. Fees ranges from 15,000 to any above amount. Because if the borrower is of 6 crore or something like that, the हाँ बोलिए प्लीज, पूछिए, क्वेश्चन पूछिए.
हेलो.
ये बिल्कुल गलत बात है कि स्टॉक ऑडिट की फीस कम होती है. स्टॉक ऑडिट की फीस आपके कॉन्करेंट ऑडिट से कम नहीं होती, बल्कि ज्यादा होती है. वहां आपको 1 महीने तक काम करना है, अपने स्टॉक को भेजना है, और यहाँ आप 3 दिन में काम को खत्म कर देते हैं. तो इन ईयर इफ यू गेट 25 और 50 कॉस्ट ऑडिट, सॉरी, स्टॉक ऑडिट्स, और इवन 10, 12, whatever, so it is always beneficial. It is not underpaid. Stock audit is not underpaid. Concurrent audit is underpaid.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please ask.
This is Sandeep. Actually, I have one question regarding the
Yes,
data's. I mean, for data's valuation, we need to have an age-wise. I mean, the age-wise details of the data's, isn't it? For
Yes.
Data's
Yes.
valuation. So I think the 90 days data's value. We should take the data.
Yes.
Now the question is related to this retention. In some cases, there are some retention money which the practice, industry practice in some of the industry. So how do you value this retention money? Because this retention money may be, I mean, it is a actual due money, but due amount, due debtors, but the retention may be for 12 months or maybe 24 months. So for stock audit purpose, while valuing debtors, will you consider the retention amount?
I will tell you I think I have discussed this portion when I was talking about the channel financing and factoring and all. I may not have used this word retention money, but actually, when you look, there is a total book debt that is declared by your client.
Right.
Are you coming with me?
Yes.
So we will go step by step. We will go step by step. The first step is, what is the amount of total book debt declared? Total book debt. We are not considering any other thing. Then, of which, what are the bills discounted with the banks or other banks? This you have to look into.
Right.
So whether your retention money, whether your question does not arrive now, then you do the age-wise bifurcation. Say, up to 30 days, 31 days to 90 days, 91 days to 120 days, 121 days to 180 days, and above 181 days. Okay. There, bank specifically give you that these are the line items where you have to bifurcate your debtor. You have to arrive at the net debtor. Now you should consider what is the party-wise outstanding.
Yes.
Party-wise outstanding. That
Yes.
so an amount will come to and up to what level? Say whether we are only financing 31 days to 90 days, or we are financing up to 120 days, or we are financing up to 180 days. Sometimes it may happen that from 31 days to 90 days we finance 80%, or from 91 days to 120 days 20%. So I'm giving you a hypothetical situation.
Yes.
So,
Right.
so total, then aging, then party-wise outstanding. Party-wise outstanding. Say, from the total letters, we find Gupta Motors. They have they have outstanding of say 7% or 10% of total letters. So
Right.
what is that? That amount you have to again deduct because it is not being received by you or will not be received by you. Now your question arises here. It fits here. X debtor is also being. हाँ, what is your question? अब आप पूछिए सवाल पूछिए फिर से एक बार.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था in some
जी आप
cases
हाँ in some
retention
cases
I mean the debtors include retention money also, so it is an industry practice, and
हाँ
I mean the customer may have some debtors. I mean there's some retention money with the debtors, and the retention money may be the duration may be for 12 months.
give me an example. For instance, sir, please. We
Sir,
were discussing. I may be wrong. Also, say I am a debtor. Hey,
yes.
I'm your debtor for say 100 rupees,
Right. Sir,
and
now,
now you have also
now,
taken retained 20 rupees from me. Am I
right.
correct?
Sir, if you are the debtor,
Huh.
and in my
Huh.
books, I am showing 100 rupees receivable from your side.
Yes.
Okay,
And what he
now,
is showing? What he is showing?
100 rupees. He is also showing 100 rupees payable.
Huh.
Fine. But what
Yes.
I'm trying to say is, it in some case, in when you as an
If he
industry
is not going to
practice.
pay, sir, I
No,
just
no.
simply got. If
I
he
mean,
is not going to pay
it may be
100. Yes.
it may be on part payment. That means
Huh.
that means the debtor has out of 100 rupees, the debtor will pay first part in 30 days, maybe the second part in 60 days or
120
90
days,
days,
90 days. Yes.
and he may keep a retention money, say which he
Yes.
will pay at the time of commissioning of the project, or practically in project industry this happens, at the time of commissioning of the
Okay.
project, he will pay,
Yes.
say after running the
Then Russ,
project, he will pay after 12 months.
No. Then we will certainly not create that amount. Why? Because if you look into the appointment letters, everywhere it is written, which can be in all the circumstances recoverable within 6 months. After 6 months, there's no CC hypothecation limit etc. exist. 6 month के अंदर वो पैसा आपको एक साल के बाद that money you are going to get after a year. So it is not a short term working capital finance, and that we will consider. We will come to the net figure.
Fine.
I'm sure I'm correct.
Fine. Okay.
But the
Thank you.
bank,
Thank you.
thank you. I'm so happy that you have asked the question.
Thank you.
हेलो
हाँ
अजी सर नमस्ते
हाँ नमस्ते
सर एक था एक कि एक्चुअली हम इस बात में प्रोसेस कर रहे थे कि हम जो एफसीआई का जो टीडीएस है
हाँ
वो हम चेक के थ्रू करें 4 लाख में जनरेट कर दूंगा सिंगल चेक दूंगा मैं बैंक में फ्यूल सेल प्रोडीडीज के नाम पर कर लेंगे प्रोसेस
ठीक है बढ़िया
लेकिन वहां पे क्या
We are discussing something.
वहां पे आप नहीं कर सकते हो एफसीआई का जैसे आप खाता संख्या डाल दो वहां पे एक नोटिस आता है और
Okay.
go ahead.
Any other question? So if there's no question, thank you very much from my side. But what I have told you is only a tip of the iceberg, and a lot remains with me, which what I like to discuss or like to share with you. How you will go practically into these. because lot of PPTs and technical guidance notes, these are not actual conduction. These are only a theoretical things. So from my side, if there is any question, I'm so much thankful to the Anand sir, particularly for giving me this opportunity to speak before you and share my viewpoint. And I've also got a clue from one of my participant. One of the participant, though my answer is there, but I will certainly look into it further also. What could happen in this such a situation?
Thank you very much, sir, for
Thank you.
sharing your views. Yeah.
Thank you very
Anand,
much,
sir.
Anwarji, for
Thank you, sir.
Anwar Bhai, for giving your very detailed this thing. And you see, we have started this thing from the PD Directorate, was that all of us can share each other's experience and benefit from each other's maybe achievements and maybe some mistakes and all these things basically. So I will encourage actually most of you to come forward and then uh, come forward to share your experiences. And as one thing I could get from Anwar Bhai's lecture, that our old cost audit forms were much more detailed. But in 2012, under certain things, those have been replaced. Now we are trying to make some very crisp program, crisp performance, which will give the gist of the cost audit, the gist of the costing principles and all that. In my heart, I had this idea of asking Anwarji to specifically cover the area that as to where the cost accounting knowledge, the cost accounting principles of allocation, apportionment, ABC criteria, etc. helps, and he himself adequately covered that. So, friends, I once again thank all of you. We are having this very crisp 1 hour, 1.5 hour program. And today also the attendance is quite high, around 220 people. This first Wednesday of every month at 3 o'clock we does this. We are also from the PD Directorate proposing to start 4 other series. One is where our individual members share their experiences. We are also in touch with our overseas members, overseas professionals who have also very kindly agreed to share their experiences, particularly from UK. We are very much interested in connecting with our members, our professionals in Gulf countries, namely Dubai, because they are now introducing some of the areas, and I am finding that there will be a lot of scope for our members. So I am very heavily working on that area where we can provide as a backup office to them, or maybe if some of our persons will like to go there in the Gulf areas. Thirdly, we are trying that specific seminars where the industry related nuances, but where all of us can debate and discuss basically. My dear professional colleagues, I will request all of you to please write certain paras on costing, certain areas on costing, so that it becomes a knowledge. It gives knowledge to the society at large that how the costing professionals are working for the development of the country. I have one very small thing to share with you, that in case of concurrent audit and in case of stock audits, I mean, definitely we cannot have the verification source for this, but from whichever banks, because we have been meeting banks, the top boards of banks to push our people into that stock audit and concurrent audit, most of them have confirmed that my members, my cost accountants, have been able to contribute in a much better way. I mean, I am not trying to demean any other profession over here, but it was their feeling, and of course, it cannot be recorded, or it cannot be said in except in this very private gathering of us. So I feel so happy and so glad when they say that our members, apart from doing the regular audit, were also able to give certain suggestions which really helped them. Friends, we are also working on with RBI, and we are telling them that if our members can be taken as independent valuers, you must have seen that we have started the peer review system. Please enroll for that. We have done one seminar on one online seminar series on peer review also. You see, this peer reviewed firms will be preferred under SEBI. SEBI is proposing to give our members the certification job of IPO related things, but they wanted peer review. So we day and night we worked, and then now we have introduced this peer review system. Please enroll yourself for that and get your firm peer reviewed. Apart from that, you are most welcome to give your suggestions, criticism, amendments, improvements wherever you want. As of now, the PD is working very heavily into the cost audit report and its implementation by the government. Once again, if any of you will like to speak anything, you are most welcome. Otherwise, I thank all of you for sparing this 1 hour, 1.5 hour. And can we have webinars on hedging categories? Yes, you will soon have on the stocks area. We are going to have rather. I was discussing with certain AI professionals. We are having one committee on AI also. So, how to make money on net? We are also going to start that, but we are working on some good speakers on that. So, any of you have some good speakers, you can always share with us in the PD, with me personally, wherever, and then let us work together to make our profession a more strong and more glorious one. I thank all of you for joining and listening to Anwarji for very patiently. And I thank Anwarji for his vast experience and his
Thank you,
vast
sir. Thank
knowledge.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Th- Thank you very much. Thanks once again. Thanks, Sushmita and Prem. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
अम्मा कहाँ है? हैं? फोन करो। हैं? हैं? 4:20 वेट तुम दसी होंगी ठीक है क्या बोला It's not expensive. Yeah. I'm not trying to get. I need to do some more than